Thank God it's a Friday! Hello everybody, my name is Coach Adrian Ding for personal branding tips. And what I do is I train and develop people so that they can become a better version of themselves. And we do that around leadership and personal branding. Let me show you guys something. This one is my second ever Mac that I've ever had. And what does a Mac or an Apple stand for? Well, Steve Jobs, through Apple, challenged us to think different. If we look at Nike, for example, we're always challenged to what? Just do it. You know, over the years, these slogans have become very iconic. It's just a bunch of, simple words, but these slogans have actually spoken of a story about what an organization stands for and the people behind it, right? Branding is what companies stand for. It's reflected in how the company acts, how they serve people, the kind of products and services that they produce, the value that the company shares, and how the organization also projects those values through their corporate image. Now, a strong brand stands out in a crowd, and it gains more sales, it has an increase in awareness, it has better customer experiences as a result. Now, did you guys know that a strong positive image will also help companies thrive and not just survive in difficult times, right? But branding is not just for companies, it's also for professionals and individuals, because you and I, we have our own stories to tell through our skills, our experiences, our expertise, our mastery over something. And in today's very, very fast-paced digital life, and at the same time, you and I being right in the center of a global pandemic, it is now the best time for you and I to have a personal brand. It's not just nice to have, but it is also expected. Why? Because there's so many opportunities out there, and with so many opportunities, there's a lot of competition. So what do we need to do? We need differentiation, because we need to attract opportunities, clients, and convert that into revenue, profit, or sales. And so your personal brand, my dear friends, is your primary pitch. It's what people will see first. It's the cover of your book. It's the medium before they buy into the message or the messenger. It's the choice that they have to make, whether they should hire you, recruit you, tap you, buy from you, or work with you. Now, what in the world is a personal brand? If you caught our first ever pocket learning session, we defined it there, but let me just give you guys a quick refresher. A personal brand is in many ways similar to a corporate image or brand. It's actually who you are, what you stand for, the values that you embrace, and the way in which you express these values through your career, your services, your expertise, or your skill sets. Just as a company's brand helps to communicate its value to customers and stand out from the competition, a personal brand, friends, does the same for individuals, helping you and I communicate our unique identity or our unique value proposition to our potential customers and clients. As the bottom line is this: your personal brand is your story. It's your story. And that story can play a very important role in establishing or boosting your career. Now, did you guys know that about 85% of managers today who choose to hire report that a job's candidate's personal brand influences their hiring decisions? You know, it's very interesting. We choose to work for companies based on their brand, but companies choose to hire people based on our personal brand. That's the reason why, guys, it's so important today. So you might be wondering, how in the world am I going to develop a personal brand? Well, there are actually some steps, and you can do it incrementally and you can do it progressively as well. I'm going to share with you guys 10 personal branding tips that you can apply, and hopefully it's going to make a difference in your career. But in the interest of time, I'm just going to share with you guys five tips just for today. All right. So the first one is this: you've got to figure out who you are. You can't be the jack of all trades, and you can't be the master of none. You've got to be able to build your personal brand on something that accurately reflects your personal strengths, your weaknesses, your identity, and what you have to offer people out there. And so my suggestion is be introspective, do a lot of self-reflection, and create a list of your personal strengths, including your weaknesses, and map out the opportunities that are available out there. So ask yourself questions like, where do I excel? What motivates me? What are some traits and characteristics that I get complimented for? What are my passion projects, or what are the things that, if given a chance to do, I'm very, very passionate about? Now, if you happen to struggle with figuring that out, one of the best things that you can do is ask people. Ask your friends, your colleagues, your superiors, and people who are observing you as to what you are excellent at, what are you good at, and build your brand from there. All right, that's number one. Number two, I want to encourage you guys to determine what you want to be known for. 10 years ago, I said to myself that I wanted to be known as a personal development coach and trainer. And that's what I do today. I also wanted to be known as an inspirational speaker and writer, and that's exactly what I'm doing today. So your personal brand is more than just a reflection of who you are today. It's actually kind of like a roadmap of where you want to go, and it's a full understanding of the existing skill sets that you have and pairing it off with the industry or the sector that you would like to be a part of, right? So you've got to build what we call a career signature. And so you've got to uncover what are the skills, the traits that you have that will make you distinct, and make sure you do that on a consistent basis so that you become known for that, right? So that you become reputed for that. So that becomes your recall. Whether you are the wedding planner, or whether you are an expert when it comes to millennial coaching, or maybe you're the finance person, or maybe you want to be known as the troubleshooter in the organization, or probably the maverick entrepreneur, right? So you've got to be known for something, and that has to be very, very authentic. It's also very important for you to forecast, like what you want to achieve in the next 5 or 10 years. And the attributes that you build around you will help you, take those steps into the future. So that's number two, determine what you want to be known for. Number three, I think it's very important for you to be laser light focused in defining your audience. You've got to be able to define your audience. So before you craft your personal brand, you need to figure out, who are you trying to reach? Is it industry thought leaders? Is it recruiters? Is it companies that are looking to hire you for your expertise? The sooner you're able to define your audience, the easier it will be for you to craft your story and kind of like tailor it around the audience of your choice. Okay, so for example, if your goal is to reach hiring managers and recruiters, you might start by creating or updating your LinkedIn profile. Why? Because 92% of recruiters leverage on social media to find high quality candidates, and believe it or not, about 87% use LinkedIn. So if you're going to use LinkedIn, make sure that you optimize it, make sure that you find a way to maximize your profile. We're not just talking about a profile picture, but this is also going to be a collation of all the skills, the expertise, the experiences, and the credibility that you've built over the years, right? Now, if you're going to be a graphic designer, perhaps the best medium for you to attract new clients is to set up a website where they can see your work. And so these are different ways and how you can make yourself known, but make sure that you find your target audience and find where they are looking. Number 4, research on your desired industry and follow experts for that particular sector. So I'm a trainer, I'm an inspirational speaker, I'm a consultant, and so what I do is I try my very best to enlarge my network and expand my influence by trying to connect with other people in the same industry as I am. And the reason why I want to do that is because as I map out careers, my personal career, what I want to do is I want to learn from others. I want to benchmark from what other people are doing. So find out who the thought leaders are in whatever field you're interested in, and don't just follow them. Go online and find out if they have blogs where they contribute their thinking. Look for people who are successful and examine what they're doing. Try to imitate them and do things that they do, but try your very best to do it better. And more than anything else, be an original, be authentic. All right. Now remember, guys, in building a personal brand, your goal is to stand out and to differentiate yourself from the rest, but you cannot rise to the top without taking inventory of who's already there and benchmarking with them. So it's nice to know the people out there who are succeeding in their personal brands. Lastly, number 5, ask for what we call informational interviews. This is one of the things that I did before I launched out into my career as a corporate trainer, as a coach. The first thing that I did was I talked to 4 or 5 people who are succeeding in their craft. And what I wanted to do was just to pick their mind and figure out how they got started. So as you start forming a list of companies that you aspire to work for, or industry leaders that you admire, consider reaching out to these professionals to ask for an interview, to find out how they got started and what were their initial strategies. It's just about 20 minutes of your time, but those 20 minutes are of high value. Don't be afraid to ask anyone you're interested in learning from them, and be humble enough to say, I don't know everything there is to know, but I'm willing to learn. Just very recently, about 3 months ago, I reached out to another expert when it comes to personal branding, and I picked her brains for 30 minutes. And I've learned so much from this woman who is so generous and so kind to share her knowledge and her background, and she was such a huge inspiration to me. So when you meet individuals, ask questions that can help you gain new insights about your desired field, such as, how did you get involved in the industry? What steps did you initially take, to leave your job to where you are now? How do you see the industry growing? How do you stay up to date when it comes to industry trends? And are there associations or groups that I should join to gain some exposure? All right. So these types of interviews come with an additional benefit, by the way. You're also going to learn about what it takes to get into the profession, but you're also sharing in the course of this dialogue just a little bit about yourself, and what you're doing is actually personal branding, right? So although there might not be a job instantaneously available for you out there, I promise you one day there could be, and you want that person to think of you first when he or she is envisioning the ideal candidate. All right, so I hope you guys learned those 5 simple steps, and I do hope you guys will apply it, because hearing without doing is useless. Learning without applying is not learning at all. All right, the next 5 that I'll be sharing with you guys will be more tactical and specific, and the intention here is to attract more people towards you, and hopefully it will give you more leads, conversions, and revenue, because let's be honest, let's face it, these are tough times and we're all going to need that, right? So you can catch that in our next learning session. That's going to be episode number 5, coming to you guys next week. But for now, thank you so much, guys, for watching, for listening. Apply the lessons here. Have a great weekend, everybody. God bless you.